Welcome back to The Urban Organism. I'm Dr. George Wilkinson, and today I'm going to be discussing a phenomenon known as urban primacy and asking the question, why does it matter? Why should we care about it? I'm going to share some slides because seeing is believing. What you're looking at are two satellite images of city lights at night provided by NASA. And on these are same scale images. On the left, you have the eastern seaboard of the United States and Canada, both of which exhibit decentralized settlement or decentralization. And what that means is there are multiple large cities. No one city dominates the urban system. And you can generally guess where the coastline is, where lakes are, where mountains are, because cities are appearing are sort of buttressing up against those topographical, geographical limitations. Urban primacy is pretty different. You can't always tell the geography of a primate urban system, and that's what is featured on the right side here. This is the western half of Russia. Again, another reminder, these are same scale photographs. That's Moscow in the center. And urban primacy is defined by the dominance of the largest city. So there may be other cities, but the largest city is multiple times larger than them. There's really two types of primacy. One where the primate city stands above. Russia is an example of that. You can see other cities, they're just small. Or the other example is where the primate city stands alone. It's really the only major or global city in the economy. Australian states are a good example of this. Now, why does primacy matter? Well, it's interesting because scholars of cities, settlement patterns, economic geography, institutional economics have found that primate cities are almost always political capitals. So I put these very big bright stars on the map to show where the respective capitals are of the United States and Russia. Almost every primate city that you can identify in the world is the political seat of the economy or the system that the urban system that has urban primacy. So that's an interesting fact. And scholars have wondered, why is that? What's going on there? And what they have found is generally when you have decentralized urban settlement, you will have devolved intergovernmental power. What that means is power is devolved or decentralized downward. So as you move down the tiers of government, they will all have a lot of power, protected legally enshrined power. They're all doing a lot of heavy lifting. Meanwhile, centralized systems or centralized settlement is a symptom of centralized institutions. So generally, when you see urban primacy, particularly in a large country, a moderately to very wealthy country, a country with an urban population over 2 million, and you still have urban primacy, generally a good way to know if you've got it or not, the largest city is 2 times larger than the next two cities combined in population. If you have that situation, dive into the relative power of each tier of government, you're going to find that as you go down, they get weaker and weaker. And by weakness, I'm talking about if you were to add them all up, the central government still retains a lot of power. So if the local government wants to do something, it's got to look upwards for permission before it can do anything. Whereas in a devolved system like the United States, if a local government wants to do something, a lot of American and Canadian local governments can do quite a lot without asking anyone for permission. So that's one of the big differences. And what that means is that when we have a pattern like this, we might not have to live with it. And what's wrong with it, right? You might say, well, so what? Who cares if everything's in one place or spread out? It's sort of like spreading your risk out or having all your eggs in versus having all your eggs in one basket. Furthermore, the defining primacy is defined by two things. Yes, the primate city, which gets all of the attention or pretty much all the attention in the scientific literature. I've tried to help to change that. But the other part is that something is missing. You can't identify a primate city unless it's standing alone or standing well above others. So all of this dark space, all of these small cities are arguably stunted because for a primate city to be so very large and domineering of the urban system, it has likely suppressed the potential of others. So taking that one step further, what that means is institutional economics or institutionalists, economic geographers, I'm naming some scientific fields here. What they're suggesting in their theories is you could potentially change a settlement pattern, that settlement patterns have some plasticity to them. So I have created this sort of theoretical model of the potential of a primate or the potential that lives in an in a primate system by showing an example of an invasion. Now, this isn't the only way you could undo urban primacy, but this is one way to illustrate it. In Taiwan, at the top there, you have two countries or economies that are juxtaposed. So in country A, you have the largest city is the capital. It's clearly very large. It has the territory has urban primacy. And then on the right, you have a decentralized urban system. The capital city isn't really very large, or certainly isn't in the top tier. Now, country B gets ambitious, or they have a war. They take over about half of country A's territory. And in theory, decentralization should occur there. That's what institutional economics are saying. So in time three, that's what we see. This is again a theoretical model, but what I'm suggesting is these cities right here have added enormous contributions to not only this economy, but likely the global economy. Every large city in the world has been the home of an innovation, probably many. Every city in the world makes a huge contribution. So primacy actually suggests that that contribution is being stunted or being delayed. Apologies for that. So that's sort of it. That's why primacy matters. Primacy matters because of what's hidden in the primate city's shadow. And I'll be exploring this topic increasingly on my channel, but I wanted to sort of put this out there and answer that question. Why should we care about urban primacy? Thank you for your time and attention. See you next time.